Hello there everyone and welcome back to another video here on Theme Park Jack. Now, as I did last year, I thought I would do my Six Flags 2020 predictions again. As last year I thought it was just something good to do as well. I do like hearing about all the American theme parks, so I thought I would just cover them again like I did last time. There isn't much other stuff going on at the minute, so I thought that now would be a great time to make my Six Flags predictions, and then my Cedar Fair predictions will be coming in a few weeks. And I'm also going to make, well, probably a few days, and I'm going to make my SeaWorld predictions as well, because most of their parks are getting new roller coasters as well. So if you don't know much about the American parks, then probably these videos aren't for you. But yeah, here we go. So I'm just going to run through all these parks. It's also my opinion as well in what I think they'll get, and I'll evaluate how likely they are as well, because some are a lot more likely than others. So first, we're going to start with Ronde. This theme park is in Montreal in Canada. Now, I believe that what they could do is very similar to the Firebird makeover that they've just done at Six Flags America. Now, what that is basically is a stand-up roller coaster where they refurbish the ride, they take the stand-up trains off it and put new floorless trains or sit-down trains on it instead. Obviously, the aim of this to make it a more comfortable and enjoyable ride. So that could go down quite well, because they have actually got a stand-up coaster there, but it's been abandoned for a few years, so I don't know how feasible that is to carry that out. If not, though, there is a rumour going around that Green Lantern from Six Flags Magic Mountain, which is an Intamin Zaxbin ride, which apparently isn't very good by all accounts, is getting moved to there. So either way, it seems like La Ronde could be getting some sort of a new roller coaster, or what I'm predicting, maybe a roller coaster upgrade. So next we're moving on to Six Flags Fiesta Texas. Now, I believe that this park could get a Justice League dark ride, as the chain does seem to like investing in them, and it would be good to round the park out, and especially it would be good so you can get out of the heat, get indoors into a nice air conditioned building, and apparently they are quite good, these new Justice League dark rides. Six Flags Fiesta Texas, typically over the past few years, have been kind of very diverse with what rides they've added. You know, I mean, they added the first 4D free spin, first RMC Raptor, so it would be good if they added something a bit different here than most of the parks. Some of them have already got these, but the majority of them haven't. But I think, especially the Texas Six Flags parks, it would be good to get these, as the Over Texas one already has. Six Flags America. Now, this is highly likely that they are going to be getting a Zamperla Giant Discovery, and that they are going to be RMCing the Raw roller coaster next year instead. I've simply predicted this because there's been no evidence or suggestion at all that Raw is going to get RMC'd this year, whereas there are some other parks that I think are more likely to get rides. So that's why I've said that for this year we're probably going to get a Zamperla Giant Discovery. This has been heavily rumoured. I mean, people have even said that they've, seen construction markers for this and all that. Then they'll probably RMC Raw in 2021, and it'll probably be, let's be honest, a clone of the Joker. So Six Flags Discovery Kingdom. What I wanted to see was a family thrill Gravity Group wooden coaster, similar to rides like Kentucky Flyer and the Wooden Warrior. Reason for this is, besides the Junior coaster, there are now no roller coasters at that park that don't go upside down. So if you don't like the upside down rides, I know people in my family are like that, who don't really like going upside down. They're into thrill rides and all that. They just don't want something that's upside down or spinning and all that. And Six Flags Discovery Kingdom now don't have anything since the RMC Raw. Then this year they're going to put in an SNS 4D free spin, which also goes upside down. So I think a Gravity Group wooden coaster would be perfect for that park. Family thrill ride, it's an in-between ride that everyone can go on. But being realistic, it's probably going to be a smaller flat ride this year. Something like that Pandemonium thing that went to the Great Escape the other year. Or it could be a Zamperla Disco. I quite enjoy Zamperla Discos, but of course for this park it would be a smaller edition. So, Six Flags Magic Mountain. Now, this park has 20 roller coasters as of this year, and really it needs balancing out a bit, because they've got lots of roller coasters and not much in terms of flat rides and other stuff. So a flat rides package would be absolutely perfect, where they had a few different things, and there's some family rides included in that and some thrill ones too. But a Starflyer would be great, and you get some great views over the desert near Los Angeles where it is located. Six Flags Over Georgia, they have just had 2 years of great new rides. So as I've said on that, I think a water park expansion for this is likely. Probably not that big of a one either. It'll probably just be some kids' water park slides and stuff. Not the biggest addition this year. But at the end of the day, they do have to try and balance it between the parks, and Six Flags Over Georgia has had lots lately. So, Darien Lake, this has just become a Six Flags park again. And at the minute, their rides such as what was Superman Ride of Steel is just called Ride of Steel, which is an awful name. So, what I think they're going to do is they're going to bring all the Six Flags like superheroes licensing to the rides, and I think that's basically going to be it for a year, because that's what they'll advertise on that teaser video that they'll make, which I will be going through. So like Ride of Steel will become Superman Ride of Steel. That Tantrum, which is a Gerstlauer Eurofighter that they added the other year, that could become Green Lantern or something like that. And I also think that Six Flags will continue what they started on New England's SLC, and give it a refurb, a new paint scheme, and some of the new updated trains that now make it a ride that's actually somewhat enjoyable, and not one that you come off with a headache for the rest of the day. Six Flags Great America, they've just added Max Force, which looks absolutely fantastic. I think it's going to be a smaller year this year. A smaller flat ride such as a Cyborg that went to New England, as I say on there, is very likely, and a water park expansion could be on the cards too. Or maybe a Justice League Dark ride. I don't know if they've already got one of them. That was just something I threw in there, something that they could do. But honestly, I don't know with this. Again, it's just going to be a smaller year with some sort of a smaller ride that they'll just add. It'll just be one of them things on the announcement video that they quickly fly through and just be like, alright, yeah, whatever. Bit of an off year this year. Six Flags New England, on the other hand, I believe is going to get a big new roller coaster. And now we're getting into the coasters. I believe an S&S air launch coaster will be absolutely perfect for this park. It doesn't have a launch coaster New England, and I think that this would be brilliant. It probably could be a Max Force clone. It might not be, it might be, but if it is, I think most people will be fine with that. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a good ride that they're cloning, and people don't mind it when it's like that. It's the same with the new RMC Raptors. People don't mind them cloning them because they're all good rides. Now, Frontier City, this is probably quite unlikely, but it is something that I did want to say. So, construction has apparently been spotted at the park, like markers and all that. I think that a new roller coaster to Frontier City could be something that Six Flags could surprise us with. So, most likely it's an S&S 4D free spin. That's what they're probably going to go with. Probably going to give it a Wild West theme. That's probably what they're going to do. However, they could add in a Premier Rides launch coaster similar to Full Throttle at Six Flags Magic Mountain. Now that only costs something like, I think it's like $6 or $7 million, which obviously is a lot, but it is on the smaller scale in terms of how much they're paying for them. Now, if they wanted to go with that, they could go for a smaller one than Full Throttle and a smaller one than West Coast Races as well. It could just be a smaller launch coaster. However, if they make it a good ride, then roller coaster enthusiasts would rush down there, and it would really create a name for the park. And I also believe that the Great Escape needs a new coaster. I think it needs its own standalone coaster, something like an RMC Raptor. However, I don't think that's going to happen imminently. I think for a few years we're just going to have to live with one of these, and then they'll probably do something then. So I think an S&S 4D free spin is very likely. They'll probably go with a name like Total Mayhem that they were going to go with for one of them the other year, then changed it to the Joker. I believe that is quite likely. And I think after the new Bucket Blasters family ride that they've just added, I think that is something that could happen. Again, that would take a lot of people by surprise, but it's something that I'm willing to bet on. Six Flags St. Louis. So, this park could go one of two ways. Either, as it says now as you're reading, it could get a big coaster this year, or they wait until 2021 and be one of the parks getting the big major rides for the year and add a smaller addition for now. I think they're going to go with that. So I'm predicting that they're probably going to get a kids area expansion this year, maybe one of them DC like superheroes expansions, and then next year RMC Boss or something like that, or putting a big new Raptor coaster that would really wow people. This year they're focusing on some of their bigger parks and kind of beefing out their coaster lineups a bit. Then in a few years' time they'll go down to next year and then years following that to some of their other smaller parks that have been cast aside. I mean, hopefully this year they'll focus on Frontier City and the Great Escape, which are the two parks that are most in need of a new addition. Then they'll continue on to the other ones in a few years' time. But is this very likely? No, but that's what I think. Again, that's why this is prediction and opinion. It's what I think will happen and what I'd like to see happen as well. Six Flags Mexico, I think this is another park that is due for a big new coaster in 2021. Six Flags Mexico and Six Flags St. Louis, and then possibly Six Flags America as well, could be the big names for getting the new rides next year. So again, this will probably have a smaller addition such as a Pandemonium or a Zamperla Disco or something like that. Six Flags Mexico has got some great new rides lately, and it does look like a really good park actually. So they could just have an off year and just get a small thrill ride or maybe even a small water ride. And then Six Flags Over Texas. Now this is heavily rumoured that they're going to be getting a Mack Rides Power Splash similar to Pulsar at Wallaby Belgium. I think this will go down great in America. It'd be something new that people haven't seen before, and it would really drive people into that park. Again, it'd be great in Texas with it being so hot there. And yeah, I just think it's so heavily rumoured. It's not even more prediction, that really is it. Everyone knows it's happening. So yeah, moving on. Final one, Six Flags Great Adventure. RMC T-Rex, if the concept's ready. They're not going to have a Raptor. That hasn't got a big enough capacity for that park. But a T-Rex is possible. Will they go with it? Well, it depends if RMC are going to start selling them yet, or if they're still going to try and keep getting people to buy the Raptors for a few more years. A new wooden coaster, not going to happen, because El Toro, they pretty much advertise that as a #1 coaster in the whole Six Flags chain, so they're not going to do that. So if not, I am predicting a launch coaster, maybe another ride similar to Max Force or another Premier launch coaster. So I predicted for 2020 that they're going to get 5 new coasters. In 2019 they got 3 coasters. Why am I predicting more? This is because it is going to be competition with Cedar Fair next year, because Cedar Fair likely to build a new Giga Coaster Polaris for Kings Island in Ohio, and they're going to be adding some other big rides as well, including a possible new hyper coaster over to California's Great America. So I believe that it is entirely possible for the chain to have 5 new coasters. If we go in a few years back, they were sometimes adding way over 20 roller coasters in 1 year. So really, saying 5 coasters is, being very reasonable, and I believe this is something that could happen. I mean, the chains have been up to, say, 4 coasters over the past few years. There's no reason why in 2020 they can't add 5 new roller coasters. So, thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it. Again, I just always like to do my predictions. Then when they release a new video going through everything that's happened, that cringy announcement, I will give my commentary to that and give my opinion on it. Likewise, I'm going to be doing a prediction for Cedar Fair and SeaWorld, and then I will run through their announcements as well and give my opinions on them too. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.